Hi, my name is Jessica Ralli, and I am the Early Literacy Programs Coordinator at Brooklyn Public Library. And I'm going to be talking today about connecting texting campaigns and kindergarten readiness. So I just want to thank Beanstack for having me here. We just launched our new exciting partnership with them last week, so it's all very fresh and exciting. And links also to our RSK program. So I'll talk a little bit about that later. I'm going to talk to you about this program and how we really amped up the parent engagement piece by starting an early literacy texting campaign, which as of right now is still cost-free. So we'll talk a little bit about that. And I'll be available at the end if time allows for some questions. So what is Ready, Set, Kindergarten, or RSK? It's a storytime program for children ages 3 to 5 and their caregivers. We've been doing it in at least 10 branches, now 30 branches, since 2008. It's always been grant funded. Right now, it's funded by the City Council in New York as part of a citywide early literacy initiative that is called City's First Readers, which is a very exciting partnership between the 3 library systems here in New York and some early literacy organizations. We do the program 3 seasons a year. Each season has 6 sessions. It's a drop-in program. Parents don't need to sign up, but we often get repeat program participants, which is really wonderful. It's facilitated by outside contractors who have backgrounds in early childhood education. They have a lot of early literacy experience. They have experience reading to the target age group, designing curriculum. They come from a myriad of backgrounds. One of the things that we really look for are people who are able to communicate effectively with parents. We like to think of this program as a parent workshop and a story time rolled into one. And really the main message we want to get parents to take with them is that they're their children's first teachers. And their job, more than anything else, is really to make reading a joy for their children. So we want them to know that, it's up to them to make it fun, to really choose books based on their child's interests, and do some simple things to get their children ready so that when they get to school and they start to get into more of the nitty-gritty of learning to read and things might get a little more challenging, they're coming at it from a really positive place and a joyful place. We also want the parents to leave with some concrete tips and activities that they can do at home that can easily be woven into the daily schedule. So we write our own curriculum for this program, and it is based on the wonderful Every Child Ready to Read program. So if you're not familiar with Every Child Ready to Read, it's a parent education initiative at the library. It stresses that early literacy begins with the primary adults in a child's life, and that there are 5 things that every family can do with their children to help get them ready to read. And those things are talking, singing, reading, writing, and playing. And these are things that parents really might already be doing with their children, so it's really more our job to give them new ideas for how to do these things, maybe how to do them more effectively, and also to reinforce to them how important they are so they feel motivated. For the talking piece, for that session, we focus on how to have quality conversations, how to use wordless books to encourage your children to develop narrative skills. We talk about the importance of singing, how singing slows down language so that children can really hear words and learn new words. We talk about how children learn through repetition and how they also can really hear the letter sounds when singing. We all know how important reading is, so we explain, that it's not only important how much you read with your child, but how you read, and so we demo ways to read using, open-ended questions, some dialogic reading techniques, and so forth. With writing, we really want parents to know that it's more than just, getting your kid to write their name. It's more than letters on a page. Writing really begins by developing those fine motor muscles in their hands. There's so much that kids need to do before they're ready to write. So we do a lot of finger plays. We talk about the importance of Play-Doh and even use dough in one of our sessions. We talk about using stickers, scribbling, painting, and the importance of watching you writing together. And of course, this is the session where we talk about the alphabet, sing the alphabet song. And then for playing is a relatively new addition to the curriculum, and it's really one of the most fundamental important parts of early childhood learning. It's where everything else comes together and children basically get to act out the things that they've learned. I love play because as an early childhood educator, which is my background, play is naturally developmentally appropriate. Children are doing things at their level, and we sort of model for parents how to support this and how to scaffold their learning. So we always like to know why we're doing the things that we work really hard to do, and these are some jarring statistics about, why do we offer school readiness programs at the library? We're really filling the gaps here. A lot of children have few books at home, so we have a giveaway book component to the program. We give away 3 books at least throughout the program to every family. There are actually few books in the classroom, research shows, and I was surprised to find this when I was looking for daycare for my son. I went to a very high quality, pretty high cost daycare, and their classroom library was not age appropriate, and this is largely due to funding. And then there's just some jarring statistics about socioeconomics. By the time high-income children start school, they have spent about 400 hours more than low-income children in literacy activities. And so we're really trying to fill these gaps at the library. And the library is one of the only places where children and their caregivers learn together, which is one of the reasons we do this program on the weekends. Parents are such a key part of their children's love of reading and learning, and we want to close those gaps, by empowering parents to be their children's first teachers. So let's get into the program structure. This is basically how the program works. It's kind of like a circle time, if you've ever been in a preschool classroom, and a story time, and a parent activity, all rolled into 1 hour session. So we introduce the theme, which again is one of the 5 practices from Every Child Ready to Read. Each session should really give them examples of books and songs and activities and tips that support these practices. So for example, with the writing theme, we would read books about writing letters, about writing postcards, drawing pictures, scribbling. We'll do finger plays and talk about the importance, the fine motor benefit of doing them. And then we'll do an activity that encourages drawing or writing, and also encourage parents to give their children materials to write and draw with every day. And we actually give them some materials to take home with them, just in case they don't have those available to them. We have 3 to 4 books for each session, and these change every season. We don't really do big themes, like seasonal themes or transportation themes with the session, because this limits the books we can choose a little bit more. But we do mini themes within each program. So the recommended books for the program generally relate directly to the song we might sing after. So we might read, My Bus by Byron Barton, and then we'll sing The Wheels on the Bus. And then the tip might be something about playing I Spy on the bus to encourage talking and vocabulary development. All of our curriculum and support materials are housed on a wiki, which you can click on. Actually, this will be archived, and you can just click on that. It has all of our past curriculum materials, it has all of our support materials, it has all of our book lists, and now it has a lot of information on how Beanstack is tied into Ready, Set, Kindergarten, which we're super excited about. So we have a very diverse parent and caregiver population in Brooklyn in terms of, languages spoken, socioeconomics, cultural background, and then of course access to and interest in technology, and so much more. So when it comes to parent engagement, we really try to offer information in different ways so that we can meet the needs of these different families. We give away books, as I mentioned. We really stress the importance of building an at-home library. It's central to what we do in this program. We also encourage library card sign-ups and future engagement with the library by providing information on other programs. But on the off chance that this is the last time we see them in the library, we really want to put a book in their hands. So through Scholastic, we get some great deals on books, and we were able to give each family 3 books if they come to the last 3 sessions. And then we do take-home sheets, which have the songs that were sung that day, the activities that were done that day, and some suggestions for things to do at home. For families who don't speak English or are more comfortable speaking another language, we have early literacy tip sheets for each one of the 5 practices in 7 different languages. So that was a huge job, and it's incredibly helpful for families who don't speak English. There are lots of activity ideas, again, just things that can be easily woven into the daily schedule in 7 languages. And then I'll talk more about this in a little bit, but we started an early literacy texting campaign to reach those parents who, they may come to one session, but they may not come back, or maybe they want more continuity between sessions. So this is something that the early literacy texting campaign can offer them. I'll explain how that works in a moment. And then, of course, we're very excited to have just added Beanstack to the list of parent resources. I think our parents are really, really going to love it. These are parents, who are looking actively for more ways to find books based on their child's interests. They're interested and motivated to get them ready for school. They're just not always entirely certain how to begin. And then we also have a very active family Facebook page, and we'll soon start to use Twitter for our department, and we're definitely going to be sharing these tips and activities via Twitter. So like I said, we have giveaway books that relate to the practice for each session. We incorporate the giveaway books into the program, and then something that's really nice about having these books, it means that every family has a copy of the book when we start the program. So we use the book for a shared reading activity to demo some dialogic reading and, open-ended questions and how to read a wordless book, and so they do a shared reading all together as a group. And sometimes our groups are as large as 50 people, so this is actually really incredible that we can give everybody a copy of the book and do this all together. The take-home activities, I've linked to these here too, just in case you're curious, and feel free to use any of our resources that you'd like and adapt them to your needs. If you use them outright, just be sure to credit us, but we love sharing. So the take-home sheets, like I said, they just kind of give everybody an overview of what was done that day, reinforce the tips, and give them an activity that they can do at home. And then, of course, they have those wonderful tip sheets. So our texting campaign. This really came about because there's been a lot of buzz in early literacy circles about the efficacy of texting campaigns, and I linked to some articles and actually this research study by the National Bureau of Economic Research that found that preschoolers whose parents received text messages with brief tips on reading to their children or helping them sound out letters and words performed better on literacy tests than children whose parents did not receive such messages. So this got us very curious about how to use this, and would it be effective, and would our families be interested in it? And then when we looked into the data on texting, we found that 87% of Americans own cell phones, not surprising, but that there's a 97% open rate for text messages, which beats out social media, it beats out, a lot of other forms of direct marketing. These aren't going to any spam folders. So people, when they opt into a texting campaign, it's because they generally really want to receive the information and they open it. And then texts also reach younger populations and immigrant communities. We actually wrote an article, my colleague Rachel Payne, who's the coordinator of early childhood services here, and I wrote an article for School Library Journal on our texting campaign, how it came about, and how we set it up cost-free. So I'm not going to get into too much of the nitty-gritty of that there, but we go into it and give you some tips on how you might want to approach that at your library. So please explore that and then get in touch if you have any questions. My contact info is at the end of the presentation. I just wanted to give you guys an idea of some of the texts that go out. So these tips are based on the 5 practices, and actually what's really wonderful is I write a lot of them, our department writes them, but also we get our librarians involved and our facilitators, so they contribute to the content, which is very, very exciting. These go out at 4 p.m. on Wednesday every week. So this gives parents the opportunity to implement that evening when they get home from work. Maybe they're on the way home. It provides continuity between sessions. So if they're coming every week, which is on Saturday, then, they might have forgotten by Wednesday what they're supposed to be doing with their kids, and then they get a little reminder. So for example, they might have gone to the writing session where we talk about the importance of developing fine motor muscles at a session on Saturday, and then on Wednesday they receive our Play-Doh text with a link to a recipe. So that is cool. And then I wanted to share some of these because we were very, very inspired by some of the other texting campaigns that are, some are national. I believe the Talking is Teaching campaign is a national one, and then Talk to Your Baby and Pre-K on the Go are New York City ones. I've actually signed up for all of these and more, so my phone goes off all the time with all these ideas that I can implement with my son, who's almost 2. But I also get lots of ideas, so I really encourage you, if you're interested in starting something like this at your library or school or wherever you are, sign up for one or all of these amazing campaigns to get inspired, and it gives you a better idea of how they work and the right cadence. All right, so Beanstack. This will be the first time that we're using Beanstack with one of our programs. We just launched the service this past week. It's been really exciting getting ready for it and just thinking of the different ways that we can integrate what Beanstack has to offer with what is actually happening in our programs. And we're planning on doing this with our baby and toddler offerings as well, our preschool programs, even our school age programs. So we're really using Ready Set Kindergarten as kind of a pilot to see the ways that we can integrate Beanstack into what we're already doing and enhance it. So one of the ways we've done that is in Beanstack, we've created Ready Set Kindergarten book lists that parents can search through. So if they, if they're at the program but they don't have time to check out all the books, or they're not all available right then and there, they can reference these book lists for suggestions of things that they've already been exploring, or that the facilitators have modeled how to do readings of, wordless books and things like that. And then another cool thing that we really have gotten so into are these learning tracks, which are set up through Beanstack. And basically what they are is you take a topic, and it can be a very specific topic, or it can be a very broad topic like writing, and you create a number of activities, about 5 to 10 activities, and they're either direct you to a book or a video or a cool app, or instructions on how to do an art project, or just a guided conversation that you should have with your child and try. And as you finish these activities, you can check them off and earn badges. And this is something that we know our parents are going to love, because they're always looking for continuity between sessions, what to do during the week to kind of extend the learning at home, and then also what to do between seasons to keep up with it and to make sure that they're continuing to do all these early literacy practices at home with their kids. The other great thing that Beanstack offers are personalized app recommendations. These are curated, they've been tested by educators and librarians. There's a learning guide and a full description attached to these apps, so parents can really have faith that, if they choose to download it, they know what age it's for, and they know what it's about, and they know that it's educational. And so we've gone in and we've started to look at those and tag them with Ready Set Kindergarten tags, and we're going to begin to tag them with some of our other program names, because we always have parents asking us for app and other technology recommendations, and it's something that's hard to do in a program, because you really do need to show a parent on a computer or on a phone, which is not always possible to do right then and there in the program. And then the other cool thing that Beanstack offers is personalized program recommendations. So again, this is something, in the branch, in the program, when there are tons of kids, it's hard to say like, oh, well, you live here, okay, well, this is what's going on at your branch. It's not always easy to access that online calendar right then and there in the program. So the Ready Set Kindergarten parents through Beanstack will be receiving personalized program recommendations based on their child's age and their preferred branch. So again, they can find other ways to utilize the library. And then the one other really cool thing that Beanstack offered us was this paper badge book, which is a gorgeous little book that's a paper version of the badges that they offer through the Beanstack website. And this is a way for, you know, kids and parents to get excited about logging and tracking some of the work that they do, some of the books that they read, and the learning tracks that they're completing, and the programs that they go to. So in our programs, we have a paper version of this with stickers that we think the parents and kids are really going to enjoy. And then I just quickly wanted to show you an example. This is kind of, you know, when I say learning track, it's a little abstract. This is 2 screenshots of what it looks like. So about this learning track, this is where you can, and we wrote this to go with our program and put it in Beanstack. So every session has its own learning track. This is for session 2, which again is all about writing. And then on the right, this is just one example of what the activity might be. So when you click on Learn More, it links you to a blog that has the most perfect Play-Doh recipe you will ever experience. So this learning track, I think, has about 10 similar activities. All right, well, thank you so much. Here is some contact information. So Rachel Payne is the coordinator of Early Childhood Services. Reach out to us if you have any questions on anything that you've heard today or you want more information. This is my information, Jessica Ralli. I coordinate early literacy programs that are grant funded. That is my email address. That's the best way to reach me. And then if you want to check out some of the resources that I've been talking about today, you can go to the First 5 Years website within brooklynlibrary.org, and that has those tip sheets that I was talking about in 7 languages and all the information about Ready, Set, Kindergarten that you could possibly want. So thank you. Thank you again to Beanstack, and thank you to the Digital Shift, and thank you to all of you for listening.